we've got human rights lawyer Shoaib Khan, and we've also got Deputy UKIP leader Rebecca Jane. Apologies about that. We're off to an absolute flyer here, aren't we? Look, Rebecca, I'll start with you. I see you've got your poppy on early doors as well. What do you think? Do you think that Shamima Begum should be allowed to stay or return to Britain or not?
Absolutely not, no. I think that to even consider that is a national security threat, and I think that anybody that would support her to come back is risking the lives that people are here. You know, this is somebody who has absolutely no qualms in seeing severed heads. She says at times that she's had no regrets about her actions, and she actually had a good time. She also has she's moved on from her 3 dead children, and she is now happy. This is a person who sewed suicide bombers into their vests. Like, we can never forget the atrocities that this terror group have created, that she took herself to, and going through extreme measures, and we should never, ever allow her back in Britain. OK,
now, Shoaib, just 4% of the British population are keen for people like Shamima to stay in Britain. I mean, those 4% appear to be entirely made up of lawyers on the take, rabid human rights brigades, charity workers, etc., maybe even some terrorist sympathisers themselves.
Okay, I don't really know how to answer that question if that's what we're starting off with. But no, I think, of course she should be brought back. Her British citizenship is just as valuable as anyone else's. She was born in the UK, brought up here. She was a child, a teenager. And as we now know, she was groomed into it. British intelligence services, other Western, Canadian intelligence, everyone was complicit in how she ended up there. And definitely the UK government should have and could have easily stopped it, and they didn't. So considering all of that, I think, of course, she should be both legally, morally, in every way. There's just no reason we should leave her there.
Morally and in every way, Rebecca, we've got to keep her.
How can we be so convinced that she is no longer a threat? She was groomed, radicalised, whatever terms that you want to use. She took some horrendous action. She's clearly shown absolutely no remorse. Truly, until she's decided to start changing her tune because she wants to be a celebrity. Narcissist personality disorder is something that is ingrained into a person, and they want attention, whether it's negative attention or positive attention. They don't care. It's what attention. So how can we be convinced that somebody has been so groomed that they're not still groomed to actually come back to Britain?
She was supposedly a straight A student, Shoaib. You say she was a young teenager. She was 15. Quite a lot of people in this country want 16-year-olds to have the vote, including potentially the next Prime Minister, possibly Sir Keir Starmer. So I would question the idea that she was dragged there kicking and screaming against her will and that easily manipulated. She wasn't actually that thick.
I'm not suggesting she was thick. I don't know if anyone did suggest that. But I'm just saying she was a child. And legally, technically, she was a child. Of course she was. She can't vote, she can't drive, she can't drink. So I don't know why we think, she needs to be, if she made that mistake at that age, then
loads of people think that, loads of people think in this country that people a lot younger than that know exactly what they're doing when they want to irreversibly change their gender and things. A lot of people are trying to have it both ways here, where they say, she was just a child, but then there's an interesting Venn diagram of the political spectrum in this country that also think that kids should be able to vote, that also think that, people in primary schools know what they're doing when they want to change sex, etc. I'm just not sure it all adds up entirely for people. Shoaib, I'll just stick with you on this, though, right? Shouldn't we be going for what the majority of the British people think? And at least 74% of them would rather her go. Only 4% of people would want her to stay.
Firstly, it depends on the question you ask. It depends who you ask. It depends on who conducted the. It depends who was asked. So I'm not sure how, reliable...
Well, it's a proper poll, right? It's a proper poll done by professional pollster Professor Matt Goodwin, who does polls. It's a national poll. So it's the thing, it's a survey. It's as good as any other poll, right? So that's what we've got to go on.
That's my point. And that's my point. None of these polls actually say, because we have seen recently with the immigration policies, Rwanda policy, others, literally on the same day, 2 newspapers publishing polls saying completely opposite things. That's what the public told them. So I'm not sure polls are particularly reliable, and especially, bad cases, severe cases, serious cases make for bad law. So we can't be pushed into changing. If the law is what it is, then we need to follow that regardless of that person is. So whatever she did, we can't just abandon her, desert her, leave her stranded in a Syrian camp for the rest of her life for that one mistake she made. And secondly, even in terms of the national security, the point is are we actually safer with her miles away? We have no idea what she's up to, who she's meeting, what she's doing. Are we seriously thinking she physically has to be here to cause us any harm? What we're doing is, yes, we're causing her further resentment.
Right,
yes,
okay.
we're creating further hatred for the British
Rebecca,
society. But why not have her here?
We're calling
Rebecca.
Rebecca, she made one mistake. And that's it.
No. She did a whole lot of mistakes, and do you know what? To actually go to the lengths that she did to travel to where she did at such a young age shows her absolute determination. You know, and when you can't back something up with facts, you attack, and that's exactly what is happening here with attacking the poll. People's opinions matter. Whoever they are people who voted, and they are people that should be listened to. You still haven't answered me the question. You're talking about, obviously, that she may still create harm from being a further distance away. So what happens if we allow her back and she goes on to do another event like the Manchester bombing arena, which that group did do? What do we do then? What happens?
Go on, Shoaib.
Yeah, well, that would be a failure of British intelligence and security. And
it's always somewhat, to be fair, Shoaib,
British
it is
intelligence are saying don't bring her back.
Shoaib, it is all. I must say, I admire Shoaib. I always admire. I know we speak regularly. No, I actually genuinely do. I do enjoy our conversations, but I really admire your ability to make every single thing somebody else's fault all the time.
No, but if we know she's potentially a threat and we're bringing her back, and we still can't keep an eye on a 20-something-year-old woman.
They're saying that. You're saying this. The government are saying she should not be brought back, and you're saying about British intelligence. Does that not tell you that British intelligence know she should not be brought back?
All right, Shoaib.
Like you should be fighting for her.
All right, Shoaib, go on.
No, you asked if she is brought back. So if she's brought back, we need to monitor her. We know what she's capable of. We need to keep an eye. If she's committed any offences, she needs to be in prison anyway. So why are we bringing her back, letting her loose, allowing her to commit these offences?
All right.
Just like we do with murderers and rapists. They go to jail, they come out. We don't keep them locked up.
Well, we do deport some of them if they're not British. We do that.
Yes, but that's even more unfair. A British murderer comes out after a few years and then he's free. A foreign murderer serves his prison sentence, then gets deported. So, of course, that's actually double standards. That's unfair. If we can,
no, it's not.
How are we sure the British criminal won't reoffend? Are we sure about that? Do we have?
It's not double standards, is it? It's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. Why would you want to keep somebody in your country? It's just part of it. It's not double standards, is it? It's just the way it is. If you've got another passport...
It's not double standards. She's paying the consequences of what she's done.
One gets punished twice. Of course it's double standard. And especially in this case, she was British. We just decided we don't know. She was born in the UK. It's not as if she somehow...
Can I just say, Shoaib, where that argument completely falls down, and I'm really glad that you've actually made it, right, is that people say that, this is egregious for her. Now, I'm white British, but if I'd have gone to join ISIS, the government could have treated me exactly the same way as Shamima Begum, because I could have a Cypriot passport and I could have an Irish passport and I could be out on my backside. The problem here is that she went to join ISIS. The problem here is that she did that.
But
it's not the problem with British justice and a double standard. None of this would have happened if she hadn't gone to join a jihadi death cult, Shoaib. And we can't get around that, can we?
Hundreds of people have had their citizenship revoked over the past few years. How many white people do we know? I know there's just one white person.
Loads of them died,
Shoaib.
Shoaib, loads of them died over there. Loads of them got blown up over there because they went to join ISIS and they died, right? So
why is everything about race?
Sorry, I don't understand.
Why are we
what's
making this about race? Why not just look at her actions?
How many white people did the Home Office deprive of the British citizenship? That's what I'm asking.
How many white people cleared off to join a terrorist group?
Yeah, exactly. It's such a niche case. Exactly. It's such a niche case. It's such a niche case. They could do it, and that's the point. Look, both of you, thank you very much. Thank you. That's enough. We're way over time. We are way over time. Thank you very much. Shoaib Khan there and Rebecca Jane. Right, OK, so who do you agree with? After Shamima Begum's appeal to return to the UK entered its third and final day, should the runaway ISIS bride be forever expelled? Thank you. Lynn on Twitter says, I don't think the courts should decide. The British public should have a say, seeing as it's our safety at risk. I agree with you. The British public have had a say, Lynn, at every single opportunity. When they're always asked whether they want tighter immigration laws, both legal and illegal, they always say the same thing, and politicians never do it. Sean on Twitter says Begum should never come anywhere near Britain again. She's still a dangerous extremist. OK. Bunty on Twitter says, Shamima Begum was a 15-year-old kid preyed upon and groomed by evil extremists. She's a victim, and the British courts should recognise this. OK, fine. She can go and be a victim in Syria, though, can't she? But now your verdict is in. 91% of you agree that Shamima Begum should be forever expelled from Britain. 9% of you say she shouldn't.